Breaking news. Russia has released new history books to its students that celebrate the invasion of Ukraine. Moscow has distributed new history books to secondary schools in order to propagandize state narratives about the invasion of Ukraine. Moscow unveiled new history textbooks on Monday, just in time for students to return to class for their second year as troops continue to fight in Ukraine and ties with the West remain severed. Under President Vladimir Putin, the Kremlin has increased its control over the historical narrative in schools, a trend that has accelerated dramatically since Moscow's offensive in Ukraine began in 2014. Younger Russians are being taught about the conflict as if it were some sort of official state mission of Moscow. At a press conference in Moscow, Education Minister Sergei Kravtsov presented a new textbook for students in 11th grade, or 17 years old, saying that it was written in just a few months and intended to convey the aims of the Ukraine offensive to school children. This was a reiteration of Putin's stated goals when he sent troops into Ukraine in February of last year, the tasks of demilitarization and denazification, so that schoolchildren are convinced that this is really the case, he said. The cover of the book depicts the bridge in Russia that connects the annexed Crimean Peninsula to the rest of the country. The bridge has been attacked multiple times as a symbol of Putin's rule. Kravtsov boasted that it would be in all schools on the 1st of September, and that it would cover the years 1945 through the present day. Just under 5 months, Kravtsov said, was all it took to write the book. After the end of the special military operation in Ukraine, after our victory, we will further supplement this book, he said. Some historians have criticized presidential advisor Vladimir Medinsky for his conservative viewpoint on the past, but he praised the quick turnaround time. No textbook has ever been created in our country in such a short time, he declared. The authors, almost certainly, wrote it by hand. The state's point of view is presented in the textbook, he said. During Russia's annexation of the Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine in 2014, Russian soldiers are depicted as saving peace in the book. It also condemns Western sanctions and compares them to Napoleon's 1812 invasion of Russia. Russia's offensive in Ukraine has included a widespread crackdown on dissent, even in places like schools. A Russian girl who drew a picture in favor of Ukraine at school in April was separated from her father. With the beginning of the Ukraine operation came the introduction of a new subject called Talks on What is Important in Russian Classrooms. New history textbooks praising the invasion of Ukraine have been unveiled in Moscow. These books were written in record time. The textbooks promote the idea that the invasion is an effort to demilitarize and denazify the country to a younger audience. The books will be mandatory in all Russian classrooms starting on September 1, according to the country's education minister. Russia's bridge connecting occupied Crimea to the mainland is featured on the book's cover. Source: